license plate design in Illustrator, which you'll do first before attempting to do your own. This is mainly so that you can use and learn the skills that you need to actually recreate your own design from your booklet into Illustrator. So as you can see on the screen here, I've got my design up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this design in Illustrator. I'm going to show you how to insert some text, download some fonts, put this border in here, and also how to get this symbol and trace that onto there as well. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to open up Adobe Illustrator, which is this icon down here. And we want to create a new file. So if we go up the top and click File, then New, we'll get this box popping up, which can let us input the sizes that we actually need for our particular document. So the blank piece of metal that I'm going to be giving you, you would a Galv sheet metal as the backer of your plate. The size of that one is actually 375 millimeters. So in your width here, just write 375, and then in your height, we're going to make that 120. And then we hit Create. And that's actually going to give us on screen a white box, which is actually the size of our particular design that we're making our license plate. So if we flick back to my design over here, you can see that I've got this gold color that's similar to the school colors that I'm going to be using as my background. So that's going to be the first color that I put in, this background color. So if I go back into Illustrator, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this box tool, the rectangle tool here. I'm going to click that. I'm going to snap it on the corner of my white box, and I'm going to draw a box the whole size of my box. Okay. Now, if you lose your box or you want to zoom in and out, you can use the zoom tools down here in the bottom. You can actually change the zoom. But if I'm using the mouse, I actually use the middle mouse button and hold Alt, and I can zoom in and move my page around like so. You can also use this bar down here just to center things up. Now, after I've drawn that box using this rectangle tool, I'm going to change the color. And you see you've got two colors here. You've got what's called the fill color, which is this big box, or this square here. And then you've got the stroke color. Okay? So the stroke color is the line around the outside. And the fill color is what is filled inside the shape. So what we're going to do is I'm going to double click on the fill color here. I'm going to use this and I'm going to try and find a color. It's getting pretty close. That sort of matches the school color that I'm after. So an orangey yellow kind of color. So maybe that one about there. And I'm going to hit OK. And that's going to change it to that color there, which is pretty close to this color here. Close enough for us. Now, if I go to this the black arrow, the selection tool up here, and click there and click off, you can see that I've changed the color, but I've also created this very thin black border on the outside. So I'm going to click on that shape again, and you can see that it's got this black thin border or stroke around it because I've actually got a stroke selected here. So I'm going to click on that stroke, and then I'm going to click this little white rectangle with a red line through it. I'm going to make that none, so I'm going to turn that stroke off. And if I click off again, you'll notice that that black line's gone. There still is a very thin black line, but that just shows that that's the boundary box of that white square that we had before. So the next part that we're going to do is we're going to actually put this border that I've got here, and I'm going to put this border onto this particular design. Okay, so once again, I'm going to go to the rectangle tool here, and I'm going to draw another box that goes around the outside, like so. Okay, now, if you can't quite see the box that you're drawing, you might like to go back and select the stroke, so the rectangle with a small rectangle on the inside. You can double click on that one and drag down this bottom left hand corner down here, make it black, hit OK, and that'll actually allow you, let's try that again. That'll actually allow you, if you click off with your black arrow, to actually see the box that you've drawn, which might make it a little bit easier. Okay, now what I actually want to do is I want to create a rectangle inside this rectangle. So if you look back at our design here, I've got this rectangle on the outside and then I've got a rectangle on the inside, okay? So what I want to do is I want to actually select this line that I've got. I want to go up to Object. I want to go to Path. And then I want to use this tool here called Offset Path. And I'll click that one there. Now what I've done is I've got my offset set here to -5mm. And if I click the preview button here, you can see it's putting a line inside my other line. Okay? -5 is not quite big enough. So maybe I want to change that to -8. And just click off it. Yeah, that's looking a bit bigger. A bit close to what I want. I'm going to go 10mm, I think. Yeah, I think that's more what I'm after. All right, and then I'm going to hit OK. If you can't see anything on your screen, it's probably because you don't have this preview box ticked here. Okay, and then I'm going to hit OK. Now, some of you might find that you've got a design where you've actually got a bigger section at the top, and you can just click on this little white box here, and you can actually drag it down to make it a bit different on the size. But I'm just going to go Command Z and undo it because I just want an even border, just like my example here. An evenish border the whole way around. Okay? Now, the next stage is I need to make these rounded corners in here. So to do those, go back into Illustrator and you can see these little circles here. That actually allows us, if you click and drag on that, it actually allows us to put a curve on the edge. So you can select something that looks pretty close to what you want, like that. I think that looks pretty good. And now you've got the inside line and the outside line of your shapes. Now what we want to do is we want to turn this line here and this line here into the same shape. So to do that, we use a tool called Pathfinder, which I've got open here. If your Pathfinder box, this one over here, isn't open, you can go up to Window and come down to Pathfinder and just tick that one on. Window, Pathfinder, and then you'll get this box here open up. Now what we do with that box is I'm going to select this inside line, so I'm making sure I'm on my black arrow up here. Select the inside line, hold Shift, select the outside line that we drew first, and then I'm going to go up to this shape modes here, and I'm going to use this minus front one, like that. Okay? Click on that minus front one. It doesn't look like anything's happened, but what you'll notice is, if you go back over to here, double click on this gold on the fill, change it to a sort of a maroony color. Might get a bit more red in that if I can. Like that there. And hit OK. That's actually going to create our border for us. Okay? I'm going to try and get that color a little bit darker. Yeah, a bit more on the red side of things, so there. Okay, I think that's a bit better. And once again, we've got this black outline there, which we don't really want. So I'm going to select that shape again. This stroke, I'm going to click on the stroke once, and then I'm going to click on this none here. Click off, and now you can see I don't have that black line anymore. And I'm starting to get something that's looking like our design. The next part I want to do is I want to add in this text, this Year 9 design. Okay? But what we're probably going to find is we don't have the exact font that we've chosen. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go and install a font. So I'm going to jump into Safari. I'm going to go to a new tab, and I'm going to go to dafont.com. Okay, and from here, you can pick any font you want, but the ones that are going to make your particular design look the most realistic is a license plate font. So I'm going to search license plate up here in this top section and then click on search. And this license plate USA font, I think that's going to be something that's going to work well for me. So I'm going to click download over here. And that's going to save and go over into my downloads. Click on my downloads, open up license plate USA, and then I'm going to get this license plate USA.ttf for TrueType font. I'm going to click on that, and that's opened this one up for me as well. And I want to click on Install Font. And I'll now see that it's under here under my font book, license plate USA, this one here. So I can now go back into Illustrator. I can click on the text box here. I'm going to draw a text box sort of roughly the size that I'm going to have that year 9 section. And I'm going to do year 9. I'm going to make that way bigger so we can see it. So let's go like 120. Probably not even big enough. And then I'm going to go up into my font selector up here. Type in license plate. And then I'm going to open license plate USA. And I've got that font starting to appear. Still not big enough. So let's go up here and make that way, 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 way bigger. Maybe something about there. Like that. And let's just go have a look at look at my design, and there we go. And that concludes part 1 of how we're going to make my particular design. Thank you.